Mr. Rogers and Jimmy Carter. I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory why I would lump these two men together, and it's not just their sick sweater game. Besides being some of the most stylish men of the 70s and 80s, they have a plethora of similarities. Number one, and I feel like the greatest similarity, is empathy. These two men genuinely cared about others. Jimmy Carter in his relentless work with Habitat for Humanity, trying to make sure that low-income families have roofs over their heads. All the way through and after cancer, all the way up to 98, he's been building houses with Habitat for Humanity because he cares about others. Fred Rogers may not have helped build housing for low-income families, but he's helped millions of children feel loved. Mr. Rogers' neighborhood impacted so many lives for the better just by letting people know somebody out there cares, someone likes you. You are special, and I like you just the way you are. Number two, they're some of the most non-controversial figures in US history. Republican, Democrat, atheist, Christian, doesn't matter. Almost everybody respects these two men. Why is that? Well, Jimmy Carter is known for his peace talks, but bad things did happen during his presidency. The hostage crisis and the boycotting of the Moscow Olympics in 1980. On the short list of quote-unquote scandals during the Carter presidency, the greatest and the most hilarious is probably the killer rabbit. I don't think Jimmy Carter would harm a fly. So this photo is hilarious and the story is even funnier. And Mr. Rogers has a lot of wise tales about him, like he's an ex-Marine and the reason he wore sweaters was to cover up his tattoos. In reality, he was just a gentleman who believed in treating everyone with respect and showing everyone that they were special in their own way. The third similarity, not the final, but the last I'm gonna cover, their faith. Both of them are known as amazing Christian men. Jimmy Carter teaching Sunday school all the way up into his late 90s, and Fred Rogers being a Presbyterian minister. I didn't even know he was a Presbyterian minister until I got into college. They weren't overly preachy. You couldn't even tell that they were Christian. You could just tell that they were good people. Throughout Carter's presidency, people were calmed by his soothing voice and gentle demeanor and his amazing smile. And every day, Mr. Rogers made millions of kids feel better about themselves. Basically, Jimmy Carter is the closest the White House has ever been to Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, which could be particularly powerful in today's society where division and polarization are the norm. Also, ever since Fred Rogers went off the air, it feels like mental health in the US has been on a steep decline. I want to get back to that sense of knowing that feelings are mentionable and manageable. So basically, this video is for me. I've been watching so many interviews of Jimmy Carter and clips from Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. I know there's good in the world, no matter how dark it seems. Feelings are mentionable. I want to talk more openly about my feelings, so I may start to use my YouTube channel as a source of venting or free therapy. I spent 2022 cooped up in my van and didn't see people for months at a time outside of work. Life can be lonely, but like Mr. Rogers and Jimmy Carter, there are people out there that care.
You've made this day a special day by just your being you. There's no person in the whole world like you, and I like you just the way you are. And I feel that if we in public television can only make it clear that feelings are mentionable and manageable, we will have done a great service for mental health.